Good morning, St. Francis. Good morning, people of God. It is Friday, the 21st day of March, 2024. It is Friday of the 5th week of Lent. It is the 33rd day of Lenten season. 33rd day. It is 1 week before the conclusion of the Lenten season also. And I am in Washington, D.C., so it's another short trip for the end of this week. It is time for the Easter workshop with our postulants, our first year students. And so early morning flight out of Raleigh and now into DC, and I'll be back tomorrow night. So another quick turnaround. So Thursday of the 5th week of Lent, 1 week for the conclusion of Lenten season, we get Genesis and the kind of the last the last affirmation or the last promise of God to Abraham that he will make him incredibly fertile. So abundantly fertile. I forget what it is, but very, very, very fertile. And that again, his nation, his children's descendants, will be as countless as the stars of the sky and the sand of the seashore. And he will and God will make of Abraham a great nation. All peoples, will respect and understand the role that Israel will then have in human history, which again is still, in the process of being revealed always. But the whole idea is that this will all take place if the descendants of Abraham keep the covenant that God has made with them. And that's an important thing, first to recognize that all of this promise of this wonderful, abundant, almost exaggerated reality that God is going to construct with Abraham and his descendants is based upon covenant, not necessarily commands. Again, it's important to notice the distinction. Commands are rules and regulations. Covenant is about relationships. Covenant is the language of poets and theologians. It's the language of artists and writers. It is those who imagine things, who create things. It is not necessarily contractual, as sometimes the commandments are seen and they can be understood. Do this and avoid that. Do this and be rewarded with that. It is covenant that makes the relationship with Abraham and God and all of those who will follow after Abraham real and true, authentic and tangible. It is about relationships. And that's hopefully where Lent has helped us to recognize what is important in our lives. It is the relationships that we have, the relationships that we are given, the relationships that we forge and that we bond in our lives. Those are what make life worth living. Those are what make faith possible in our lives and what give faith the purpose to matter within our lives. It is not following rules and regulations. It is not being enslaved to commandments and what do's and don'ts. It is not anything like that. It is about love and relationship. And that is what makes us get into the people that God needs us to be as witnesses in the world of what is more to human life and what is more about human life. In the gospel, again from John today, the whole idea of self-justification is that when you're trying to self-justify yourself, you are going to lose sight of everything that's important and wonderful and glorious around you. And so again, Jesus, in fighting with the scribes and the Pharisees, basically says, again, it's like Abraham said this and that, and you did not listen to him. So how can you listen to me? It does not make any sense. And again, the self-justification that the scribes and Pharisees keep throwing back at Jesus, that, we are children of Abraham and we understand Abraham and you don't. And who are you to come in, with all of your ideas and try to disrupt what we have created for ourselves in this ordered reality, in this ordered world that we have created, which helps us to thrive, but unfortunately helps others, to suffer and unfortunately labor under burdens that are too heavy to bear, too heavy to bear, too heavy to carry. And so again, Jesus then makes the comment, again, it's like that I knew Abraham and that Abraham, was not what you describe him to be, and this is not what Abraham intended or what God intended with Abraham. And to that, the scribes and the Pharisees will say that you're not even 50, and gives us an age limit for Jesus at this time to think about. But again, how could you know Abraham? And then Jesus making the incredible, outrageous statement, before Abraham ever was, I am. And the I am, again, is that name of God that is given to Moses when Moses asks for God's name. It is not just a simple phrase of I am, but it is that verbal noun of who and what God is. And, when Jesus reveals himself as God, they want to stone him. And that is again, this sense in which when the truth finally comes out, and this is again the course of the building of tensions and aggravations between the scribes and Pharisees and Jesus, they will not, be struck by the fact that Jesus says this. They want to eliminate it. They want to get rid of it as a threat. when the truth comes to us, do we want to receive it, or do we want to eliminate it as a threat because it's too much for us to handle, or we are too fearful of where the truth may lead us? Again, a world that is based upon covenant, a world that is based upon relationships and love, does not fear the revelations and the truths that are given to us, but it welcomes them and allows them to help us grow and to thrive into the people that we are called to be. A continued blessed Lent, St. Francis and people of God. May the Lord give you his peace.